views and views expressed herein are the sole property of Kenosha Today. Viewer discretion is advised because certain portions of this program may be unsuitable for children, sensitive adults, small animals, and the general public.
Absolutely.
Are we ready to do this, Scott?
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, all
Sorry, we're
right.
idiots. Good morning, everybody. This is Uncle Scottie Barter, and along with my personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider, and we welcome you to the May 2nd edition of the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. Taking us about 6 weeks, but we've kind of redesigned the set. Look like we actually know what we're doing.
Yep.
One of us does, anyway. You do. And Governor Elmo, I want to thank you for your leadership and in liberating me and making me the real success
Lead
story
you down the
that
road
I
to
might be.
perdition.
We are coming to you live and local from the Barter Manor studio, and we'll be calling this home again. Well, we're not sure. It's sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
You know, I had this strange dream last night. A lemon scruncher or something, a squeezer, but
Yep.
Anyway, it's here. I don't know if he meant to take that or if he left it as a prop or if I'm supposed to learn how to use this thing, but at any rate. We are streaming live across the, it's going to be a great day here in the Midwest.
Nice 70s today.
70s today, and all across the streaming to everyone all around the world. And we are brought to you this morning by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services and the Union Park Tavern, along with a host of other very fine local businesses. Elmo and myself, again, we remain committed, or should be committed, to the Kenosha area, and we continue to broadcast live and local, bringing you the most up-to-date news, weather, sports, and entertainment. You know, I'm really impressed with this, Elmo. The more I look at this, this is really, we actually look color coordinated.
Right.
I mean, this is...
You better tell them our phones are not working this morning.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
some issue with Google Voice, so
Google Voice,
we'll
so-
try them again later after a
All
break.
right.
So
We'll give that a shot. We are brought. Oh, we said that already. Elmo and myself. Well, we did that already too. And again, if you want to watch the replay of this, you don't have to wait for a specific time. You just go in probably about. We get done at 11, probably about noon, maybe, or a little bit longer.
yep.
And
Whatever it is.
there we go. That's one of the best pictures we've had.
Yep. It's that new computer.
Yeah, it's amazing when you get
Yep,
the right
yep.
props, how things work out. Again, our phone number is not working, but we have some people to call. And again, it's 65 degrees and climbing. It's going to be 70-some degrees here in the Kenosha Today Nation this morning. Stock market closed this week, although it was down 600 yesterday. It evened out about the same as it was a week before. You know, we get these peaks where it goes up 600 and down 600, but you know, it's not as bad as, and you know, in the jobless, the unemployment rate comes out.
That's
and you
insane,
think that,
yep.
that's taking it down a little bit. So from the pandemic room, Trolley Drivers Saturday starts right now. Well, lots to talk about today, Elmo. Your buddy Tony the Tiger Evers ordered an immediate 5% reduction in state spending, which I thought was a good, although I think he should have
It's a
gone
good
10.
start, yeah.
It's a good
He's
start.
going to have to cut it a lot more than that.
And you know what? It was really Assembly Speaker Robin Voss applauded. You know, they're finally doing something, working together. So, and I guess what we're going to find out is Evers put the stay-at-home order to the 26th of May. That's being challenged, as we know. Maybe we'll hear something on Monday or Tuesday. Who knows what's happened? We're going to get into some of the other things that have been going on across in Michigan and some of the other places. You know, those guys coming in with guns and, I mean, I don't know if they have any bullets, but I don't think I want to tangle with any of those birds. But anyway, it's nice to see that the Republicans and Democrats, I mean, are working together. I personally didn't think the 5.
Where are they working together?
Well, when Voss says, okay,
Evers won't even meet with the Republicans. He doesn't
That's
care
true.
what they have to say. So.
well, they should have gone 10%. Now, because of the unemployment, they're taking people from the Department of Revenue, and we're going to get into that too. It was an antiquated, outdated system for filing for unemployment. It was never intended for people like self-employed, and I think they got it all worked out. I haven't seen any money yet, but
Nope.
and it's why we should. This is a case where we're going to make it. Wisconsin hospitals had only 361 cases of the virus, 4,400 empty.
Something is wrong here.
Were we playing or no?
Nope.
Oh.
Okay, now it's connected again. All right, there we go. We back. The connection keeps dropping to the.
Well, that we had
To
that problem
YouTube.
a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Where I think it was YouTube was overloaded by 75%.
Right. I don't know, but it was just.
Does that mean anything?
Yep, it's just what it did. So the
Oh, that's the
this
yeah.
keeps disconnecting from that, and then it
all right.
reconnects on there. So.
Anyway, so here we had the state's got almost 12,000 hospital beds that were empty. So I get all about the social distancing and the mask, but at some point in time you got to say we got to move forward here. And
Well, the state spent $23 million to build that 1,000-bed facility at the Thompson Center in State Fair Park,
Yeah.
and they're just going to close it down. They will never use it. There's not been anybody there.
well, I can see it, but they didn't. They were cautious, error in the whatever they call it. But here, the Mayo Clinic,
Err on the side of stupidity.
yeah, they were furloughing 42%, 70,000 people, because nobody's going to the Mayo Clinic now.
Nope.
And I get the problem with New York and some places in California and that, but I think the guy from Georgia, he says, I'm okay.
Hey, you see what happens, they say, oh, people are going to die. Well, yeah, they are. Okay, but it's...
Well, 70% of the people thereabouts, they're not going. And so even if they're opening up a mall, initially people weren't going anyway.
Right,
So they're
right.
going to stay at home. Well, at least you give them a chance, get the economy a chance. And, all the surveys that they're doing, I don't know if I thought we were supposed to hit our peak, I should say, on April 26th. Now it's down to June something.
Well, I think we did hit the peak about that. And so, well, the numbers keep going up. That's because you're testing more people.
Well, yeah, there you go. Well, what do you think? If we were able to test everybody,
Well, okay, you tested negative this week. You could be positive the week after. So I don't see what.
and one of these tests would say, would tell you if you had it, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're quite there yet, but
Oh. Well, here it is, 8 weeks away, and Kenosha postponed their fireworks and canceled the parade. I think that's a little. I don't agree with that. And I think they're going to put the fireworks on Labor Day, and they're just outright canceling the parade. We haven't heard anything about out in Summers. I hope they have it, and there's enough room on Highway E to spread everybody out if they have to, and so we don't throw candy.
Yep.
But my God, the community needs something to rally around. You can't, nothing better than a patriotic parade to do
well,
that.
people will be shooting them off in their backyards.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They'll find a way to do it.
Yeah. And I think Racine still intends to have their parade on the 4th. But our fireworks have been moved to September 6th over Labor Day weekend. I think they already have those things already purchased, so you got to blow them off.
Well, they hire a company to do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yep.
Well, they might have paid them already. The company said there are no refunds.
They don't have some Yahoo from the Parks Department with a giant match down there lighting these things off. So
Yeah.
they actually have professionals that do that.
I think that place is out of Milwaukee. I forget what the name of it is, but they do.
Oh, the Bartolotta has it.
Bartolotta, yeah,
Yep.
that's the one I'm thinking about.
Yep.
And it's expensive.
Oh yeah.
It's about 70-some thousand just for
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes of that. And but it's going to bring everybody downtown in that area, and some people will still take on to the social distancing. Good, I think we should to some extent. But we're going to get into some what's Major League Baseball going to do. They're talking about
That changes every day. Who
postponing.
knows?
Yeah. I don't like what they're talking about. 3 10-team divisions and playing. If they're just going to play without fans and just, the TV cameras, why don't these guys take a cut for this year? Because they ain't going to make any money. Why should they get that $20 million for this year? Take a proration. The governor ordered 34 state parks to reopen. Yesterday they opened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's missing something home because there ain't no bathrooms open.
That's right.
So
They're not stacking them with toilet paper.
No, it's just like when you go into the golf course. One lady I was playing with some years ago, she says, "This whole 18 holes is a men's room.
Yeah,
when you
that's
go,
right.
you can just go any place you want." And she's right. And back out at Brightondale a couple years ago, some of the women's league complained because they got those little outdoor things, and they said they made them paint them all white and raise it so they had windows upstairs. It cost them thousands of dollars to do that, but I guess. And again, I thought that they were going to allow carts, which they hadn't up until, I think, starting now, where you can, one person per cart, and you have to get your pass in advance, and either, I guess you call in and get and order it online. So, anyway, and the, I don't know. But,
it's so ridiculous because, you can go to Walmart and buy stuff, pay for it in cash there, and there's people all over the place, but you can't go to a golf course and do it.
But you can go pee in the woods.
Yeah.
I can't understand. Well, I don't know. And then you got to bring your all facilities remain closed, including towers, the shelters, playgrounds, nature centers. Well, why even bother? Just, you're going too far, in my view. So.
Yep.
And now down in Illinois, their governor issued a 30-day
Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Pritzker, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a judge blocked that 30-day extension order, and so I don't know I guess, are they open for business? This was just this week sometime.
You're starting to get some counties that saying we don't care. We're opening up. We don't care what the governor says.
Owned a bar restaurant in Milwaukee. He owned a couple other ones around the state, and he said, "Forget this. I'm opening up May 1st." And they said, in defiance of Evers' thing,
he didn't do it.
You know why?
$10,000 a day fine.
Yeah, and his liquor license.
Yep.
He said, "Well, I made her wait a little bit more." But who's going to make a lot of money in this is what do you call the attorneys. And he's going to have a legal battle, and this is a good time to be an attorney. And then, of course, the first briefing, White House briefing in more than a year was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Did you see any of this?
Nope.
This gal, I don't know if she's a good-looking gal. She probably should be on Fox News with Dana Perino. And here's her first thing: "I'll never lie to you." Now, what does that tell you when a press secretary? That's the first things out of her mouth. "I'll never lie to you." And the last press briefing by the press was March 11, 2019. But I think the Trumpsters kind of tapered that back a little bit.
Yep.
Almost allowed. Oh well.
It's got to move your microphone. That's why you got it too far away.
Oh, all right. Let's move this here. I thought these things could pick it up, but I guess not.
Yep.
And then I guess the Trumpsters taking, after they're still talking about this Lysol, they're calling it Lysol Gate now. So anyway, I can tell you one thing. The good news here at Barter or Elmo, not one person tested positive for Lysol or Clorox. Yep. Of course, that was before last night. I don't know. I got to check my cupboards over there.
Not one person tested positive for having a brain.
Yes, that was. So that was not a dream. It was. No wonder my head is a little on the fuzzy side this morning. Hey, let's see if we can call our good friend Gunga and see what he's up to.
See if he's around. Yep.
We have to do it this way because our it's not our fault. The phone isn't working. Google
Voice is not picking up.
All right, we're waiting for Gunga to answer his phone. He's probably sitting on the dumper. Hey, are you in the bathroom? Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, can you? All right. Okay. I was using the speaker so everybody could enjoy your words of wisdom here. Hey, are you watching us?
I am not. I am technically driving an automobile.
Uh-oh.
Isn't talking on a cell phone in the state of Illinois, isn't it foreboding?
Yes, but I'm an illegal alien, so I
The rules don't apply to him.
Hey, I sent you a text about our party last night, didn't I? We had our first production meeting in about 6 or 7 weeks.
No, I did not receive such a notification.
Oh, well, I thought I sent you one.
So there's a lot of things you think.
That's my problem, right? Hey, is the state of Illinois open, or did your governor tried to extend it, but apparently it was overruled by a judge. So, is it Illinois open or no?
It is if you have your private jet and you want to go see your daughter jump over sawhorses with her own horse.
Yep.
So that's okay, right?
Only for Governor Fathead.
Oh.
That's the way it works.
Fathead?
Well, he has to go to the horse farm because that's the only place he can get his cloven hooves chewed.
Elmo knows the law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so how are you holding up? I mean, this is about, we got to get rid of this stuff here.
Well, I'm holding up and I'm holding myself. Does that tell you something?
So some things haven't changed.
No, how about you, big boy? You've been getting lucky?
Describe lucky, or maybe I don't want to go there.
You're breathing.
Well, that's a good day when actually every day when I get up and my name's not in the obituaries, I think that's I can move on.
That is correct. What are you wearing right now so I can fantasize?
I'm not wearing underwear. How do you like that?
Oh, boy.
Oh, Commando is my very favorite.
Hey, I know you probably don't care about my health, but I'm suffering from a torn inner groin tear.
Ooh.
Oh,
I can barely get around. I mean, it was a freak accident. I was taking down my wheelbarrow, and I strained myself.
would you like me to come over and massage it for you?
You know, this is going.
Is that what you're asking?
No, I really wasn't going to go there, but I was thinking of something else. But I was just trying to tell you about my trials and tribulations, and I'm not in good health.
Call Numbnuts Patel. He's the top attorney in Patel, and Mahoney.
Hey, are you practice social distancing, right?
I have for 40 years of marriage.
Yep.
How's does she are you confined to the?
No, she doesn't. That's why.
Oh, so she can still go out and work or something, right?
Surely you can.
So you're not confined 24/7 with the woman, right?
No, I go to my room and I sit and watch. What did I watch this morning? What's that guy with the Trojan horse on his holster? Oh, have gun will travel. Yes.
Have gun will travel. All right.
That's some Spider-On type deal there.
That's your. All right. Well,
That's how my life. Elmo will tell you all about it if you're not familiar with the
Yep.
series. It's quite popular in third world countries.
hey, you wear a mask when you're out in public, right?
I certainly do. I don't want to breathe someone else's germs.
Well, we're
Especially if I'm not going to get lucky.
Yep.
well. At least you're practicing. You're practicing social distancing. You're still practicing safe sex
Yes, I wear rubber gloves with myself.
with yourself. Oh boy. I set myself up for that one. But and you got anything earth-shattering you want to share with us today?
How do you like Mr. Flynn's note? They tried to railroad the man.
Yep.
Elmo was telling me that yesterday. Apparently he's going to get off of this, right?
Yeah, they withdrew the guilty
He'll
plea.
end up penniless.
Well, he's going to sell a book or something, right?
Oh, he's going to sue the government for damages. That's what he's going to do.
$1 million worth of books.
Well, I think.
Are you going to buy the first one?
Well, no,
He'll end up with a 7-figure settlement
Yeah.
here. So that's
Well, why do you think they did
8
that?
figures.
Why do you think they did that to the guy?
What do you think?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you, Elmo. What do you think?
They wanted to do anything they could just to get at Trump.
Oh, okay.
It's all about they hate Trump's guts.
Well, they're going
And
to
that's
have to ante up now. Having railroad a guy into pleading guilty.
well, he did because he ran out of money. He lost his house. He lived,
Oh,
then they
that's
said
right.
they were going to go after his kid too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. It's been so long
you
since
know.
I followed any of that. But, well, God love me. You know what? This is America, and only the guilty should be punished, right?
Only the guilty survive. Look at Hillary.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
She's still slapping her fat jaws with her ankles in the air. Ah, sweet Lord. Sickening feeling just looking at her petite body. Oh,
Hey.
such desire.
Let me ask you this: when she,
Sure you want to?
well, no, this is a political question. You seem like you know what you're talking. If you're Biden, she came out a week or so ago and endorsed him. If you're Biden, is that hold weight if you're him, or would you just soon her not do that?
That idiot didn't even know who he was talking to.
No, you're right.
He didn't even know who he's endorsed by.
Well, she did.
These are Three Stooges.
Yes, she did. Actually, she had, if I understand this right, she had 3 million votes more than Trump in the popular. So maybe having somebody like that
All
would.
in California.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right. It's not the way the game is played.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? The 3 million illegal aliens, and they don't have any voter registrations in California, so, just put your Jose right on the paper.
Yep.
Hey, you sound like you know lots of stuff. Maybe when I run for mayor a third time, you can run my campaign.
Yeah, you could get Sai to help you, that juggernaut of political science.
Cy Costopoli. Yeah. Juggernaut. I think you hit the nail on the head
He
there.
can come
so-
up with a campaign song for you.
Yeah.
And he's quite a pianist, from what I understand.
Yep.
Well, he's got some talents. Yeah.
He likes to
You should
tickle
stick to the drums.
Yeah, he's but he's had some rough years there, and back in the '60s and the '70s, what's that little green stuff? Marijuana was pretty. I'm not saying he did any of that, but any musician back in that era, it's kind of hard not to come across a little blow or a little of that, right, Elmo?
That's the way it was back in those days. So I remember them fondly.
So what you're saying is all about science.
Yeah, right. All right, Gunga. It's always nice chatting with you, and next week we hope to have our phone line back. And but if not, we can always communicate this way, right?
Well, yeah, thank you, but don't do my 900 number. I'm losing money now.
Does your wife know you're on that?
She knows nothing.
That's probably what she's been married to you for 40 years.
Correct.
All right, big boy. Have a good week. We'll talk to you.
Wonderful day, gentlemen.
All right. Bye now.
See ya, Gunga.
Keep in mind, Elmo.
He's always a treasure.
Yep.
All right. I got to take a little dry here, almost. Should we take a break? And we'll come back and maybe do some weather.
Sure, we can
All
do
right.
that.
We'll be back in maybe 2 minutes. personal caregiver, Elmo the Insane Schneider, and we welcome you to the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. It is 26 minutes after 10 here in the Kenosha Today Nation, and we bring you the best in news, weather, sports, entertainment as best we can. And we invite you to join the thousands of our fans who have already signed up and liked us on Facebook. We are brought to you by our major sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, the Union Park Tavern, along with a host of many other very fine local businesses. We invite you to, well, we can't call because the phone line's not. But if you look at admiring our new set here, that we're all color coordinated, we got some new things there. All right, let me see if I can get a hold of her. Today's Kenosha Today's Radar Weather is sponsored by.
Hello.
It's Sunrise Sammy.
What's up?
What's up? Sound like you just woke up.
That is sexual.
Yeah. Hang on, I got to build up the act here. This Radar Weather is sponsored by Capo Web Design, which is a locally owned web design and development business here in Kenosha, specializing in website design, development, maintenance, site services, and support, who actually designed and is currently developing our site, Kenosha Today. For more information, you can visit them on www.capowebdesign.com. Hey, last week when you brought up that incident, or the picture that had me pretending I was a plumber, well, here's the deal. And I know who put you up to that. I'm going to get to your mother in a minute, but in about 15 years, I want you to take the replays of this show and the appearances and explain to your kids, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, why you were going by the name of Sunrise Sammy. And when you do that, I want to come down. I will come down from heaven, and because that's where I'm going, you know. Okay, now I got to tell you this because your mother has this one coming. Back in the early '90s, when she was at 9th grade at Lance, she played on the girls' softball team. Did you were aware of that?
Now I am.
Okay. Well, in the 90s, she had this big boofy hair like your Aunt Nancy did, and you know they had these big diffusers or what do they call them, and she had this big head of fuzzy blonde hair. Well, she's batting, and this guy, teacher, Joe Banasinski, was the coach. He's coaching third, so he asked me to help him out and coach first. So the game's way out of hand, and they finally put your mother in as a kind of a pity move. and so she's in the batter's box with her hair sticking out of this helmet, and so this Banasinski's down. He's coaching third. He's flashing all these signs that mean nothing, and so your mother steps out of the batter's box, calls time, and yells down to the coach, "What do you mean? You want me to bunt?" She yells down to the coach. So I got many more. So if your mother decides to pick on Grandpa Scottie here, I'm armed.
I'm listening.
Uh-oh. Where did that come from?
And to my defense, I think I hit a home run on that one.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I'm kidding.
yeah.
Absolutely terrible. I don't know why I even decided that softball was a thing for me.
Well, I mean, yeah. I thought you did pretty good. I mean, you had to mess your hair up. You remember that, putting all that hair.
Yeah, I know.
What did they call those things that you and your sister used to use? Diffusers?
Yeah.
I remember girls would be up at 6 o'clock and the old electric meter going cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I mean, I don't know, what did that do? Just kind of frizz your hair or what?
Yeah. And then don't forget the bottles of hairspray that we had to have.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll let you go because I got to let Sunrise Sammy do the weather. And just for information, I'll tell her about the time when you were 12 and you ran away from home, but I got to save that for next week. That's always a great story. All right, Sammy, give me your best shot here.
All right. Well, today it's beautiful outside. You know, sunny, but it's gonna be cloudy soon. But then it's supposed to be cloudy tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. It's supposed to rain, and then it's supposed to be in the 50s for the rest of the week. But sunny, so there's hope.
Sunrise Sammy,
So-
bringing it again. All right, baby. Well, as always, you're getting better at this.
Good job.
Good job. And I'll come up with another story about the time your mother ran away from home.
All right.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye.
And there you. Oh, I gotta hang up on this. And there you have it. Directly from the Kenosha Today weather deck here at Barter Manor, the most up-to-date and the most complete weather report anywhere on the planet. And you can tune in to Kenosha Today for all your weather information, or when severe weather strikes. In that case, you're on your own because we don't care. You're getting a call there, Elmo, huh?
Yep.
Let's get back to this. It's 31 minutes after 10. You know, Pence got himself a little bit of trouble this week. He went out to the Mayo Clinic, and he wasn't wearing a mask. And apparently the Mayo Clinic told him he should. Well, 2 days later, then he goes to a GM plant, and he was wearing a mask then. I don't think he wanted to take on 1,000 burly union workers. And but I mean, I guess he and the president have both been tested. And you know, when they all the news reporters are out there, when they're outside, they're all wearing masks. And to show you how goofy this is, Menards this week issued an order: if you're coming in the store, you have to wear a mask.
And they'll sell one to you for $1 if you don't
Is
have
that
one.
what it is? Well, I had one, and so, but in our little subdivision, they have one of these little where you can post and kind of like a mini Facebook deal. So one gal says that that's infringing on her rights, and the other people, I mean, they were beating the heck out of this gal. No, this is safety. And she says, well, I'll go out to the Menards, all the way out to Burlington, because they won't make me wear a mask.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will.
all
Menards
the
as a
stores,
company did this. So I guess, you know what, it's there. If you don't want to go to Menards, don't go to Menards. But do you think that's a little going over the top?
If I don't,
I mean,
they're a company, they can do what they want.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to be safe. And, you know, when I went through the line, and the gal, she's wearing a mask and she's wearing gloves. And so when everybody gets done at the end, they squirt it all off and rub it down. So, at any rate, hey, there's an article, Elmo, Anthony Fauci, the sexiest man alive.
Yeah, right.
Who the hell cares? You know, he's probably one of the most popular guys in the country right now.
Oh, God.
People magazine is claiming
I can't
he's
stand him.
Well, I mean, I never heard of him before any of this came. But I think something, you know, this virus is getting to him, because the last picture I saw, not here, he was wearing a Dr. Burke scarf. You know, she's got a whole line of scarves that they're coming out with.
Thought he only did that on the weekends.
You know, he wears these same kind of socks that K-Dog wears.
Yeah.
Those
Argyles.
Argyles, yeah. And Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law, kind of got himself in. You know, they're hanging on every word, and you got to be careful, because the press is, you know, when he
Well,
says,
they're just out to destroy everybody.
yeah.
They hate him. They hate
Yeah.
him. They're not, that's, you know.
so he comes out and he says, well, this pandemic is a great success story, and all of a sudden they're hopping all over him saying 60,000 people are dead. Where's the success in that? But see, they're just looking for any little word.
Oh, they can't do it. You know, it's that whole thing, you know, shutting down travel, you know, from China.
Yeah.
You know, he did that back in February, you know, and at the time they were all screaming at him saying, you know, he's a racist and all this for closing it down. And Nancy Pelosi is saying, come to Chinatown and everything like that.
Yeah.
Now they're all yelling at him saying he didn't do it soon enough. So it doesn't matter what he does. They're going to attack him for anything. It doesn't matter.
And it would be, let's just say we had a Democrat in the White as president. The Republicans would do
It would
do
just
about
be
the
the
same.
opposite. They could screw everything up,
Yeah.
and they would say that he was great. So
You know,
or she.
the one guy I don't care if he's a Democrat or not, but Governor Cuomo, I like the way he comes out in his press and he says,
Hey, did you see what he did yesterday?
I heard he did something, I forgot what it
Oh,
was.
he's on the prowl for women. Was named one of the most eligible bachelors.
Didn't he marry a Kennedy at one time?
I don't think it's by that name, but
Well, he's a good-looking guy. He's 62. He's got
Yep.
money, and he seems like he was a former lawyer apparently. And I'm surprised when Biden goes around to trying to pick a vice president, and he's come out and said he wants to pick a female. And some of the names out there, I don't know.
Oh, good.
Even Michelle Obama and
She don't want to do it.
the lady from Michigan, and there's a couple other ones. I think you wait. This is just my view, and I'm not going to get into politics, but I think take a guy like Cuomo, because I don't think Biden's going to make a second term. If he is, but and you got Cuomo.
No, you can never pick Cuomo because Cuomo will upstage him. That's the problem.
Well,
You can't.
you might be right
It's the
there.
number one rule about running for for an office that you have a running mate.
Yeah. Well, that's
with
true.
you never pick anybody that can upstage you. So
Do you think it's important that he pick a woman?
I don't really care.
Yeah, I don't.
It might be to the Democrat Party, but
Well, if it was me, I would pick. You're right, though. He would come across so much smarter. And
I think the guy is, whacked in the head. And I don't think he's going to make it through the convention.
who, Joel?
Yep.
Sleepy Joel? Okay.
Well, he's got the rape accusation against him.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see how that
which
works
they're
out.
trying to cover up,
Yeah.
but
We'll see how that works
we'll
out.
see what happens
Yeah, but
there.
still, it was back in '93.
Yep.
Why now? It just doesn't.
she filed the complaint back then.
Well, why didn't she bring it forward? Back before now.
She did.
Oh, talk about a cover-up. That was a pretty good job then, huh? And the Trumpster brought in this called Operation Warp Speed. And when I first heard this, somebody suggested that was his re-election campaign slogan. But, our Kenosha Today science, just so we are on this. The Kenosha Today scientists and research coming out with our own program, Operation Warped Weed. We're going to develop our own vaccine called Blunt Fat Boy. And a couple of hits of this and forget the virus. Let's see. Of course, Dr. Fauci says a vaccine won't be ready for 12 to 18 months. Come out yesterday. They apparently have something. It's not a vaccine, but something that if you have the virus, they look like by the end of the year they might have something to treat it. But they better make sure they know what the hell they're doing. And Burlington, he was going to reopen Burlington's. Oh, they're having a protest today at what is that? In Echo Park.
Basically, the mayor told him to go pound sand. That's the whole thing. So.
Yeah. So I mean, he's got to abide by the governor's rules, right? He can't. He can't just say, okay, Burlington's going to open, and Uranium can't, and Cruiser can't open Kenosha with the governor's order, right? I mean, the governor's order supersedes.
Well, they could, but it'll end up in a lawsuit, and who knows
Yeah.
what's going to, what they're doing. There's some other small counties up north that are saying, "Screw it, we're not going to enforce this thing. Go ahead and open up." So
The fact that John Uranium and Jim Cruiser are both Democrats probably has nothing to do with that, right?
well, I
It
don't
has
know.
everything to do with
Yeah,
it.
the mayor really hasn't said anything about it, so he's been kind of silent on the whole
true.
thing. So,
Hey,
and all Chrysler can do is order it for county employees. That's it. So.
All right, I got a thing. Well, this is from Spotter. Now, why would you not call me? Well, I'm not going to take it now.
Yep.
I mean, you had ample time to get to me before this. Today, and I didn't realize this, today would have been the Kentucky Derby. And
Right.
I forgot all about that.
We have the Turtle Derby instead.
And that's where they had it back in.
Yeah, some bourbon company is sponsoring it.
Is that right?
Yep.
Well, that's what they make the mint juleps out of bourbon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is, I didn't even know this was, that they canceled this since it was, only other one was 1945, which had to be,
During World War II.
right at the end, I suppose.
And that's why they're doing the turtle races. That's what they did
In 1945?
Yep.
And a lot of cancellations. ZAA canceled Air Venture. I mean, the fly-in was supposed to be in July. They were going to, what the heck, how many people would they get? 600,000 visitors from around the world.
Yep.
You talk about some tourism dollars that, why not, again, July is such a long way off. I think they could have had it then, or just even moved it back a month.
I had some friends that actually the guy was the head of the EAA committee. Mm-hmm. He was a different guy, but there's these other two guys, and they knew they were flying the SST over
Yeah.
for the show. This is 25 years ago or something like that. So what do? They fly over to Great Britain or to Ireland, and they played the front nine of golf at St. Andrews,
Oh, really?
where they have the British Open, and they got on the SST, flew back to the United States, and played the back nine on their home course in Oshkosh.
You gotta love that, huh? That's, and NASCAR has been off since March 8th, and they're going to resume on coming up here on the 17th of May. 7 races in 10 days in front of no fans.
Yep.
So they are taking a hit too. Every major sport is taking, feeling the pain. This is really troubling. You know, they had that small business loan that they gave out, $350 billion. Well, the Los Angeles Lakers applied and got
it, yeah. This thing has been
$4.6 million.
so screwed up.
And of course, they gave it back. And I did some research. You know, why would the Lakers need it? Well, my God, LeBron James is making $37 million, so every little bit helps, I suppose. And I don't think basketball is going to return anytime soon. It would have to return now and just go to who's ever in the playoffs now, and or just, I guess, forget it for now. And we were turned down for our $10,000 loan, Elmo.
Yep.
They said there was no cure for bad TV shows. That's about it. Oh, this is really troubling. Farmers are starting to have to destroy their pigs because of the slaughters. You know, this is where I have to draw the line. What about my dating pool? But now for those that are listening or watching, we're just kidding here. And the Michigan governor, she extended her order, but then, my God, she extended it to May 28th because in her state, the numbers are growing, but they had a protest, and I don't know what this is about. Her stay was in effect till May 15th, and now that's going to go till the end of May. But again, I can see why, because there's more people that are getting the virus. But these guys that are dressed, like they're got these big. What do you think of that? I mean, that's a little over the top. But I guess in Michigan, it's an open carry. You can do that. But to be in the Capitol, I don't know. I just think that this, in my view, sends the wrong message when you got guys with masks and big automatic guns. And speaking of protests, they had one last week down in North Carolina, and the guy that was organizing this gets test positive the next day. And so I guess like we've talked before, you're either for this or you're not. But
the people can protest all they want. It doesn't matter. Protests don't change anything. Elections change things.
There. And it's the same thing with the arts.
It might make you feel better to go out there and yell and scream and make a sign and stuff like that, but they really have no effect whatsoever.
I get the deal about your protesting, and that's your right. But what about the people that this guy would have come in contact with, and he spreads the disease? What about the rights for those people? So it kind of works both ways. Anyway, we talked how this was. What's Tenet Healthcare? Is that it must be a big hospital.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's probably a hospital company.
Well, they're furloughing 3,400 hospital workers, just like the Mayo Clinic was, because
they're doing it all.
They can't do the elective surgeries now.
Yep. We got to start opening that up because people are dying from other stuff besides this because they can't get into the hospital. That's
So, I mean, I have to put my my surgery for brain surgery, the brain implant, on hold for another 30 days.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to make it. Anyway, big issue with Harbor Market, and I think they're doing the right thing, just holding off the beginning of Harbor Market. And they said that it could come back in another form instead of cramming everything like it is on 2nd Avenue. And, a lot of the merchants up where Bjorn's Clothing is and on 6th Avenue, they have always, for years, said, why don't you just bring it all the way up 56th, and you can alternate, and bring it up to 6th Avenue and let the merchants enjoy those people.
Sure.
So spread it out a little bit. I think the market brings a tremendous amount of revenue to the community, but they don't have, for some of those, if you come up 56th Street, you probably won't have electricity.
You could set up all those tents right on the trolley tracks and have the trolley come through and mow everybody down. How about that? So.
This is why we play disclaimers. Hey, Hey, that would be have a trolley. And then of course, Kenosha air quality meets federal standard, but we didn't quite cut the mustard. The power plant is now closed, right? I thought they were going to tear
Yep.
it down, and for years when that was going, people said no, they capped this off, and there was no. A resident in Illinois wants me to come down there to perform brain surgery on down in Illinois. Yeah, sure. I come back brain dead. But anyway, I've talked to people that lived on the east side of Green Bay Road, and they said when that thing was going, there was soot coming down all over the place.
Yep.
So it wasn't as, I don't think you can have a coal-fired.
Well, I got the scrubbers on there and everything.
Well, they're not, they closed it down, right? I thought they were going to tear it down.
Yeah, they don't need it.
Anymore. But anyway, Kenosha County scored an F for its air quality, and according to the American Lung Association.
Another bunch of commies. They are.
Who?
American Lung Association.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Is they in with that Peter group and something like those do-gooders? We talked a little bit about applying for unemployment, and this was such an old system. And just this week, I understand that the new $600 is going out to, if you applied about a month ago, but that system was never intended.
Did you see this morning the IRS is sending $600 checks to people that don't live in the United States?
Shocking.
They're citizens of the United States, but they don't live here. So why are you sending that money to go boost the economy of some other country?
Well, you're right. I have a client whose father lives in Italy and gets Social Security because he worked here, and he's a resident someplace in Italy. He got his stimulus check.
Yep.
So
Yeah, they
he
can't.
doesn't file taxes either.
They can't get them to people here, and then they're sending it to the banks, and the banks are charging fees on it. So
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to go out another. I got mine last week, and I didn't think I was going to get it in a paper form because I get mine on a direct deposit. So I got it, and thank you very much, President Trump. Well, we talked about. It's almost 12 minutes to 11 here.
Yep.
About insurance. If you have a business and you have what they call business interruption insurance, let's say you had a fire and you're out, you have to close the place for a month. They pay you.
yeah,
They cover your losses. However, insurance companies are denying these kind of claims.
every insurance policy I've ever seen for that or other kinds of insured is caused by an act of the government is not covered for anything.
And
Not for anything. So
it's going to be tied up in the courts again. Who's going to make money? Lawyers.
Yep.
And they're going to say to a business owner, "You've had this policy for 20 years. When you renew it, you sign it, date it. Did you ever read the policy? Generally, no. Well, had you read it, you would have known that. That's how. Anyway, a lot of people that have not worked from home ever are suffering from. It's a big difference if you're out in the corporate America and you got a bunch of cubicles and all of a sudden you're forced to sit at home and you got your kid there and your husband who's laid off. That can be a little stressful.
Yep.
And
Well, my sister, she's working from home, and then her boyfriend moved in at her place, so he's working from home. And then his daughter is in college in Texas, which is closed down, so she's up with them, doing distance learning. So,
well, we talked it. This could restructure the way corporate America works. They're going to say, why do we have these big buildings?
Yeah, and
when we can get the same productivity out, you go sit at home.
That's right.
And you log in, and what's a lot of people when they're on a computer, they're emailing their friends from work.
From work, yeah.
Yeah. And so how much time out of, we'll just say a 40-hour work week, is actually wasted by people, then you got the water cooler gossip and all of that business and texting and all that. So I think places, I'm not picking on Abbott, but places that are big like that,
Sure.
they may say, what do we need all these big buildings here? We can make them into something else. So I think when there is not going to be a normal as we used to know it, but here's something I know that's going to crush everybody. 20% of the inmates in the Kenosha County Jail tested positive. Shocking. Doesn't bother me one.
Well, the three places where these are, the infections are concentrated is jails, nursing homes, and the meatpacking plants.
Yeah. Well.
That's it.
Yeah. we'll get to a little sports news. The WI canceled all their spring sports. However, they will allow them, let's say, spring baseball in high schools. They may allow them 30 days, as long as they include the seniors, to go in the month of June. But it's going to affect American Legion. It's going to affect all the summer programs. Could even affect our own Little League, because Little League World Series not going to be played till August, middle of August. That's been canceled. So I think they just better worry about getting ready for the fall sports. Hey, Wisconsin fishing season opened today, or it was yesterday maybe. And for those that are fishers,
Yep,
fishermen,
May 1st.
May 1st, yesterday. And then baseball is still throwing about some other different things. You know, Major League Baseball players, up until last week, they were getting $5,000 a week. And minor league players were getting $400 a week, and all that ran out. So they're not getting their salaries unless they start playing some games. So can we live without sports? You know, somebody was writing, a sports psychologist, life without sports? Well, I'm a big sports fan, but I don't watch pro basketball. I don't even. The only thing I missed was March Madness, and I don't watch baseball because that's too old and boring. And anyway, Elmo, I wanted to get to this the Racine school referendum, and passed after they had a recount by only 4 votes. So it passed, and I guess after a recount. And so they're going to ante up.
I think somebody's going to sue to get the election thrown out because they were throwing away the ballots that, they're going to claim a miscount, and, you just can't take ballots at random, and throw them out.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably the smartest thing to do.
Mm-hmm. And just
start over.
Start over. That's
Start over. I don't think you could do that in the fall, or could you? I think
you can schedule a referendum whenever you want.
Oh, I suppose.
Yep.
But that's going to be costly to have a special referendum. This one they did with their spring elections, I think. So, hey, we got to do top 10 here before we close this out here. Right in our home office, on the patio at Barter Manor, this week's top 10 thought-provoking category. The top 10 signs that Governor Evers is ready to reopen Wisconsin for business. Number 10, everybody is just about out of Clorox. Number 9, he finally remembered when the month of May falls this year. Number 8, he's starting to wear a cute Dr. Burke's Dale Evans scarf. Number 7, the Wisconsin National Guard is ready to storm the beaches of Lake Mendota. Number 6, he's starting to allow mass gatherings of protesters at strip clubs. Number 5, a recent survey suggests the governor's office is non-essential. I know you'd like that one. Number 4, he's following President Trump's guidelines for opening up America by saying, baseball been very good to me. Number 3, says he wants to use a safe, logically thought-out approach to pissing off the workers in Wisconsin. Number 2, testing is done by sausage racers in Miller Park. And the number 1 sign that Governor Evers is ready to open up Wisconsin for business, Badger Bounce Back, is all about, I really don't have a clue. Bounce back. Everybody's got a theme. And I guess that's into the marketing. But I wanted to to talk to some of these guys, George Myers, but they had a meeting, hot government Thursday, and nobody got to me. So, but if they got something, if they're going to sue somebody, I'd like to hear about it. We'll talk about it next week. Well, Elmo, anything?
Well, I just have it. You know what the number 1 pickup line is now during the quarantine and the lockdown?
Now, see, you won't get this anywhere else. You got to come to this show. Go ahead.
Hey, baby, you want to see my essential business?
That's why you won't see this anywhere else. Well, let's close it out with that, huh?
All right.
And that's going to wrap it up for the May 2nd edition of the Kenosha Today Saturday Morning Breakfast Club. We want to thank our sponsors, Barter's Financial Planning Services, the Union Park Tavern, Kenoshans for Open Honest Government, and Charlie V's Kids for Cancer Treatment Foundation. We've been streaming to you live this morning from the Barter Manor studio, located on the corner of Happy and What Went Wrong. And to all our first responders and all those in the medical field, and to those who are truly making a difference during this time of crisis, we sincerely thank you for all your efforts, sacrifices, and we owe you all a huge debt of gratitude. And so for Elmo and myself, until we meet the next time, we thank you for the privilege of your time. I'm Scottie Barter, and have a very pleasant and safe afternoon.